Welcome back to C Turbo Addicts channel. Wanted to talk quickly about a Foxbody Mustang and a little project I'm working on. Previously on this car, I had installed the UPR adjustable coil spring pocket thingies. I'm going to show you what those look like real quick. So UPR sells this kit that you weld in this stud. You cut out the old spring pocket right there for your regular springs. You weld in this piece that has a big threaded nut in here. And then you put a traditional coil spring coil in there, like so. Okay, cool, all well and good. I'm an idiot, or the product's subpar, but if you notice, look at the alignment of this to this. It was causing my coil spring to have an S. So I talked to a couple local racers. They basically said that's no bueno. I seen a mini tubbed car with coilovers in the rear, so here we are. So that's what brings us to the topic of today is UPR's inboard coilover kit for a Foxbody Mustang. Yeah, let me tell you, I love doing things twice. Anyhow, so comes with your option of C209 or C309 Viking coilover springs. You can upgrade to the thrust washer, which helps with adjustment. You put it down here. But comes with a tube, some brackets, some spacers, some bushings or bearings, swivel bearings, whatever you want to call them. And comes with lower control arm bracket and coilover spring bracket. This gets welded to your housing. They give you some really nice bolts with locking nuts and all the spacers. But what it does not come with is instructions. This is a universal welding kit. I think it retails around $700 or so from UPR on their site. I don't know, something like that. I called up and ordered a bunch of stuff. They threw in a free t-shirt. I do like the guys at UPR. They're really good. But I would suggest you call Viking about setup and where your shocks are supposed to be, since there's no instructions with it and it's a universal type installation. But what I wanted to talk about more than anything is stock gas tank coilover kits, mini tubs in a Foxbody Mustang. So I am going to do a mini tub kit in this. I started to try and cut out those old spring pockets. As I was cutting out these spring pockets here, I realized I'm going to destroy this thing. Let me mini tub it anyway. I was getting ready to put in my anti-roll bar. That's a Team Z1 anti-roll bar. But it just kind of spiraled out of control. You know how project cars go. So I'm getting ready to cut this fender out, and I'm going to push it all the way to this frame rail. So I'm going to gain all that additional clearance. Actually, you cut into the frame rail a little bit here. So you're going to have plenty of room to put a big tire in here, or bigger tire, I should say. And if you want to narrow your rear and so on and so forth. But this is the starting point of that. So as you can see, my car, I sumped an OEM tank. I did dual 3/4 inch outputs. I've got all my fuel system and shutoff valves and everything and filters all on this side for this car. But when you do a mini tub, let's kind of jump in here. When you do a mini tub, you lose this shock. Okay, so you got to go to a coilover. But the coilovers run, I think I marked center line right about here. Yeah. Coilovers run, the bar that you have to weld between the frame rails runs between here. So I am attempting to maintain the stock, portion of the spare tire and maintain the stock tank. This is my valiant attempt. I wanted to just kind of document it because I see a lot of questions about this online, and there wasn't really any good photos of kind of what was going on. So I'm going to be on my back here, rolling in from the back of the car. Looks like we're still maintaining. Let me see if I can zoom out just a little bit. So this is your factory gas tank mount, and this is your factory gas tank mount. So I laid out, so it's kind of hard to see, but from my axle housing to the center line of the eyelets of the UPR kit is approximately 4 inches from the face of the axle housing out, which puts my center line of my coil spring to be right here. What you can see is that sorry, that went right in my face. There's shit in there. Or sorry, excuse me, YouTube. There's stuff in there. But the coil spring's roughly, I don't know, 3 inches in diameter, 3.5 inches in diameter, something like that. You really probably want 4 inches of clearance. So you really need 2 inches of clearance from here and 2 inches of clearance from here to get the coil spring to just kind of sit in this area. Now, it may sit a little bit below this slightly, but I really don't want to screw with it, and you got to weld this whole thing together. So, like I said, I will be cutting into this a little bit with the mini tub kit, but I think that happens back here if I recall correctly. It cuts, crap falling out. Cuts straight through here, and you box it in or whatever. So I wanted to show kind of where I'm cutting. Approximately 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch right here. And then I'm going to cut up into here, and I'm going to chop this whole piece off right here. I'm going to cut this off. I'm probably going to make a little bit of a clearance back here or on the top side to weld this bar to this frame rail. I'm also cutting this guy out here because I need to get access into this area. And here's the line that I'm using to cut. And I think the only piece that you can use here to kind of think of examples, it's just offset of center of this guy on here dimensionally. And then the same thing over here. I come back up and I cut this. I'm going to chop this piece out because this is where the coil spring is going to sit. You got a little more room on the driver's side. And then I'm going to come around and cut right around this bracket. There's no reason why I can't weld that back to this sheet metal here once this is cut out, and I still retain this factory location bracket. Now, I wanted to show you, I made a little, well, never mind. I had a little template made that showed you where kind of this goes. But anyhow, this is the eyelet, okay? And this approximately is the center line of the center. This one here is approximately the center line of the tube, and this would be the back edge of the tube. So you can see why I'm kind of cutting this clearance out here to kind of make some room. I am going to chop this clear out so I can go ahead and get a weld in there with that. But I just wanted to show, you know, what that looks like to somebody. And I'll update this with another video and show you a little further. So that's what it looks like prepping to cut it. Make sure all my clearances work, and I'll update this on a part 2. So there you go, guys.